Okay, I'll call us to order here. Okay, and I am pulled over for safety. So, although I want to drive off, I won't. Okay, so call to order 11:30, and there are two sets of minutes, commissioners, before you that you've received already. If you could please indicate motion to approve the February the 3rd, 2026 minutes and the February 10, 2026 commission minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, and properly moved and seconded that we would approve the minutes of February the 3rd, 2026 and the minutes of February 10, 2026. Question to the motion, question to the motion, question to the motion. I see and I hear none. All those in favor, thumbs up or signify by saying aye.
All right.
Okay. All opposed have the same right. I see all those have voted in the affirmative and the minutes are approved. Um, I was going to defer, and Marcus let me know. I was going to defer your report just in the interest of time, but I'm told that the legislative reviews that we have today are not that lengthy. So, what is your will and pleasure?
Well, I had not prepared the reports,
Thank you.
so I'm not prepared to present them. Yes.
That's okay. I knew while we was in the middle of this, I had spoke about deferring your report until we get through this legislative session.
Right.
So I'm going to, for the record, defer the executive director's report until our next meeting, and we will move over to you, council, item 4 on the agenda.
All right. Good morning, commissioners, and I apologize. I woke up with a cold this morning, so I'm hoping my voice doesn't give out. All right, so we do have a couple contested case updates. Kawatachi on behalf of the complaint filed by Chanel Diedrichs versus Elite E Builders, docket number 25-002-E-SH-RET. We had a contested case hearing on March 10th through the 12th. And the hearings examiner requests a 1 month extension of time to file the proposed decision. So, as background, by rule, after a hearing is held, a hearings examiner has 60 days in which to file a proposed decision. For this case, it was 3 full days of hearing. So that was 7+ hours per day. So 20+ hours that needed to be transcribed. And we want it to be accurate. We do have a third party transcription service, but we always double check for local names, local spellings, things like that. So the hearings examiner and the parties in submitting proposed findings of facts and conclusions of law rely on those transcripts, and it will be hundreds of pages for this case. So she's only asking for a month extension to June 10th, 2026, and I find that's for good cause, and I would request the extension be granted.
Okay, commissioners, you have before you a request for an extension by the examiner. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that we would grant a 30-day extension. Question to the motion, question to the motion, question. All those in favor, thumbs up or signify by saying aye. And the maker and the seconder are all in the affirmative, and so it is so ordered. Thank you. Next.
Kawatachi on behalf of the complaint filed by Resurrection versus Case Drive-In, docket number 25-003-E-D. There has been an update. The contested case has been moved back to June 23rd, 2026. It's still within the extension that was previously granted. The third case on the agenda, Kawatachi on behalf of the complaint filed by Taj Bosch versus Shelley Eurocars, DBA BMW of Hawaii. docket number 26-001-E-RA. This is a new case, and as many of you know, I was an enforcement attorney for 8 years with the HCRC, so occasionally I have to recuse myself from cases. So for this case, I am recused, and a deputy AG will advise the commission. Currently, the contested case is set for June 25th through 26th and assigned to hearings examiner Joanne Adams.
Okay. So your request in this one, I don't see an action here for us other than informing us that you are recused in this particular situation. Joanne is going to handle this in your stead, and I don't see other than information for the rest of your report.
Well, Joanne Adams will be the hearings examiner assigned to this case, and Deputy Attorney General will be advising the commission at the end of the case. So we
Yes.
did get a name from the AG's office. It'll be Hiro Takei, but he'll come in at the end after the contested case hearing is held.
Right. I was just saying, this is for our
Oh,
edification versus for us to take an action on.
oh, correct, yeah. And
Okay.
for the record.
Thank you so much. Okay. Is there anything else on your desk, that we need, requires commission's action?
And nope.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So then we can transition. Any questions for council? Okay, I hear and I see none. We will move on into our legislative session. Item 5 on the agenda, and we have a few here to go. So we'll go ahead and start.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, but Marcus, do you want to talk about HB 2576?
Yes, I can
Um,
do that.
okay.
Why don't you go ahead and share? And while Connie's setting that up, I want to just say hello, commissioners. It's been a very busy time, and good to see all of you and you able to make the time to be here. It has been just unbelievably busy. So happy to report on some of these bills that we've been testifying on. Okay, so the one that Connie is pulling up is HB 2576. It's HD2. This has to do with background checks for healthcare facilities. So the goal of this is, I believe, to make it easier for healthcare facilities to implement background checks or use background checks and use that information to appropriately screen applicants for hire or for already employed individuals as well. Um, and so there are a number of parts to this, and the testifiers have been focusing on what is most relevant to them. So as far as we're concerned, as far as I'm concerned at least, in viewing this bill, there are some sections that may intersect with employment discrimination law that we enforce. And so more specifically, Hawaii Revised Statutes 378 and more specifically 378-2.5. So that deals with arrest and court record. And so you can kind of see like background checks, fingerprinting, which is part of this bill. It could definitely intersect with things that we normally would consider as being under arrest and court record as a protected basis. So I think where we come in, I would suggest as comments only, and that's what we've been doing as staff. So not on behalf of the commissioners, but as staff, we've been submitting testimony, comments only. And I think the gist of it is that our position is that no matter what changes are made with regard to the process of background checks and fingerprinting, it doesn't change that there still are obligations that any employer would be subject to under the laws that already exist. So specifically 378 2.5. Very simple kind of testimony actually, but I think it's something that maybe not all the players here are keeping in mind. And so it's just sort of a reminder. There was some specific language in previous versions of the bill that did say words to the effect that nothing would change employer's obligation under 378 2.5. That was taken out and it's not in this latest version, but there still is a line that talks about how nothing changes the employer's obligations under HRS 368 and 378, which to me is essentially the same thing. So it's actually a broader, reminder. So that to me would be the recommendation is as commissioners to um, give comments stating that the bill does not change employers' obligations, including those of healthcare providers that presently exist under Hawaii Revised Statutes 368, 378, and 378 2.5. So that would
Okay.
be the recommendation.
So if I'm just being a layman here, what
Mhm.
I'm understanding is that this law really is not changing any protections that individuals have under Hawaii or under federal or state laws.
Well, I think it would be, I mean, that would be our position. And I think that is if anyone who's drafting this bill or commenting, testifying on this bill thinks that there is a substantial change, like our position would be that there is not.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying so basic understanding is that there's nothing that messes with the rights that are currently existing,
That
if I
is
hear you correctly.
correct.
Okay. And so that for that particular reason, we're only doing comments versus the commissioners taking a yay or nay position on the bill.
That's correct. And I also think that we wouldn't be, for example, suggesting particular language to
True.
be inserted or taken out. It's really just commenting on what the bill does.
Okay. All right. I see a question. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Okay, so Marcus, I see that you already submitted comments. So is the goal then to submit new comments, or are you asking us to adopt your previously submitted comments?
Uh, right. I think we would perhaps modify the testimony based upon the most current version of the bill. I didn't see anything that necessarily would change it, but we'd take a close look at that. So I think essentially, yes, it would be asking the commissioners to adopt the position of staff, which would be comments only.
So you would take out that first sentence that says the commission hasn't reviewed, basically.
Right. And we'd say that the testimony that we have given on which you've provided positions, we title commissioners or Alfonso Braggs on behalf of the commission.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. All right. So I think a motion is in order just for the record clarity is that we would and I'm going to use the term adopt the comments that were previously submitted. And that we would be doing comments only. Am I stating that correct?
I think
Okay.
that's
All
accurate.
right.
Yes.
Okay. So the motion is for us to adopt previously submitted comments and that we would only do comments. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
All right. Is there a second?
Yep.
All right. So the motion is properly before us. Question, question, question. The maker and the seconder being the voting strength. So that particular motion is adopted. Okay, next.
Thank you. So, the list of bills that we put on the agenda, these aren't the only bills that are still alive, that we had previously discussed in past meetings, but These are the ones that directly impact HCRC or its statute or, civil rights, constitutional civil rights in our constitution. So it looks like the statute of limitations extension for HCRC is likely going to pass. I think it still has one committee left, maybe. It might have been re-referred to judiciary. Then we also have the Hawaii Constitutional Civil Rights Protection Act, which looks like it's very popular. Hopefully it'll pass. Um, I just sat in a hearing for sorry, this is under D, SB 2386, relating to salary transparency. But it has an exemption. And this is the one where we weren't sure which one we liked, but we preferred the one that just eliminates the exemption for small employers. But it passed without amendments to that section. So that one's still alive. The other one that completely removes the exemption that we prefer is also still alive. That's HB 2367. SB 2055. I don't know if Marcus wants to add a little bit more on this. This is the Hawaii Civil Rights Helpline to report civil rights violation. He's been in a lot of discussions with AUW and the California helplines, right? So to see if that is a possibility, I think we got more tangible numbers for when we have to kind of justify fiscally what this type of program would cost. Um, Marcus, anything to add on SB 2055?
Yeah, as Connie mentioned, there have been a number of conversations between our office, Aloha United Way, and entities in California that have similar hotlines or helplines to what's being contemplated in this bill. And so that's LA County 211 versus hate and California 211 versus hate is sort of their organization names. And so there are a lot of moving parts to this bill. This is the one bill that really would require a lot of effort on our part to create a new program or a new, I don't know, a substantial addition to our existing program. I guess I'd say that. And so there is a request for a substantial amount of money, so an appropriation for funding. Um, I don't know where this is going to end up. I mean, there's going to be at least one more hearing, and we'll report back. But I think whether or not this passes this year, it likely will be something where our communications with these other organizations, if this continues, will be very helpful. And I think, I'll just leave it at that because we just don't know what's going to happen with this bill. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so there's no action for us on that so far.
No,
Okay.
so we can skip all the way down to rulemaking or SB 2852, HB 1998. So this is the only one, well, not really action, but there was discussion on potential rulemaking, and our rules allow for any interested party to request that the commission engage in rulemaking. So this was part of the purpose of the bill. It's discrimination and public accommodations for places of public accommodations that use digital communication technology to interact with the general public. And I don't know if you all had a chance to take a look at the board packet, but Mr. Fritz, when Marcus and I last talked about this, we were a little bit overwhelmed with the prospect of rulemaking because we wouldn't know where to start with the technical standards or language for rulemaking. But what Peter has drafted provides us with a really good foundation. And now I believe that rulemaking won't be as intimidating as it initially seemed. So this bill is also very popular. It seems like they want to pass it. Last year, it almost passed. So there's a good chance that this bill will pass. And then we'll be required to engage in rulemaking. So this is more of a heads up. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And I think, we've gone through rulemaking before. This one, I believe, I'm a big proponent of rulemaking, so I enjoy it, but I think it will be easier and faster because it is more targeted. The last round of rulemaking we did everything, so it was just a little too much. This one is just for public accommodations, which we don't have yet. So I think it is time to create rules for public accommodations. And this is a good place to start because it is popular. Um, I don't believe anyone testified in opposition except for Mr. Fritz in its current draft form. He had a lot of suggested amendments for this bill, but everyone else testified in support. And as Mr. Fritz pointed out, the HCRC would already take this type of discrimination complaints. If an individual went to a place of public accommodation and said they were denied the full and equal enjoyment of the services or premise because they weren't able to access the menu because they used some type of digital communications that was inaccessible to their screen reader or whatever auxiliary aid, we would take that case. But the benefit of codifying this in law is it makes clear to both places of public accommodations, businesses, but also individuals with disabilities who might not realize that's still their right. It's not a physical denial to the access, of the premise, but it could also be a, denial in communication or denial of the full and equal enjoyment. So I think there's benefits to this law, and I'm actually excited at the prospect of rulemaking. So I did want to throw or in the board packet at least the outline of what our potential rules could look like. We're going to tweak it a lot, but this gives us a really good base for what to expect. Hope maybe in the summer. As I said, they haven't passed the bill yet, but it looks like the lawmakers really, really like this bill. So just a heads up.
Great work. And if I could just publicly acknowledge Mr. Fritz and always your um, very intentional contributions. We have a lot of people that will quote unquote complain or raise issues and concerns. And I know I believe I speak on behalf of all the commissioners when we say that you not only bring an issue to the table, you bring a solution. So that is very, very much appreciated. I recognize you're recognized now, sir. You have a question?
No, just an observation that I believe decision making is today on the bill later this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. All right. If that's that, I think we're ready to move to item 7 on the agenda, and that's recruitment for the new deputy. And let me also make sure that the record reflects that this is a significant loss for the Civil Rights Commission. We don't always get a wonderful cooperative, collaborative team. It has been my particular experience, though, that we've had a magnificent executive director, and I have felt very supportive as a commissioner, as I believe others have as well, and staff. And so I just want the record to reflect our appreciation for the service that has been rendered and all the best in her new endeavors. With that, Director, the ED, are you ready for discussion on this? We hear you, but we don't.
The button was pushed. Just want to say, thank you, Chair, for those kind words, and I echo that sentiment. We appreciate Heather McVeigh for her time served with the commission and wish her the best in her future endeavors. So I know Connie and I have talked a bit about what the process we might suggest would be moving forward for recruitment. And I know if you want to start, Connie, but she did a substantial amount of work putting together, sort of a written uh, set of suggested steps. So all I will say is that the ultimate hiring decision for this position lies with the commissioners, and also decisions about how the process should be run, those are with the commissioners as well. So we've had fairly limited experience in recruiting and selecting uh, deputy directors because there haven't been that many throughout the course of the life of the commission. But I think Arsema, you may have been through one, right? Correct? Okay. And then I've been
Yeah, you.
through that's correct. Yeah. And I've been through maybe two myself, but it's really sort of up to you folks as to how you want to proceed. And so I don't know if Connie, you want to step in with some of your suggestions.
No, I agree. And, we are changing things up a little bit from what Marcus and Arsema probably experienced because we are trying to be a little bit more open as a board. Also, so like Marcus said, it is ultimately up with the commission. On a lot of these decisions to make. We can make recommendations, and for me, they are pretty big shoes to fill. I've not worked at the Civil Rights Commission where there really hasn't been a deputy executive director. I guess there was a gap of a few months, but Marcus doesn't seem as, scared. I'm like, oh, we got to fill the position immediately. Like we got to put out the ad and, start getting applicants already. But he said, we can do things right and take our time to make sure we do things right. But so some of the things that I think the commission has to decide on is where to run the ad, how big of a net do we want to cast? Do we want to limit it because it will be really difficult to sift through, hundreds of applications. Um, but it might be good to get, local interest. So something that we could consider is posting a job app, job posting in HSBA, their job listings. And then also a question to ask would also be how long to run the ad. And that would also, determine how much applicants we get. So talking with Marcus, you know, we already know that there has been some interest from people who are connected to the commission in some way just through the community. So, I mean, it's hard when we lose our deputy executive director. So, we would recommend a limited time, maybe only posting the ad for 1 or 2 weeks, just to control how many applications we get and when to post it. Should we post it now or should we wait a little bit? And Marcus might have a little bit more grasp on the situation because he's doing double duty right now. He's acting as executive director and deputy. So he might have a better feel of when we should post it. I would say we could post it immediately so we can start getting, applicants and then start get moving on this. But after we do that, I had been thinking about the process too. So later on, I don't know if we need to do it now, but I would like to, for the record, clarify what's going to be done in open meeting and then also what's done in closed meeting. So, but maybe we should circle back and go back to the actual posting of the job, you know, the job listing. Any thoughts or discussions on
Um,
where to post, when to post, how long?
can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, because this might have been when I was off island or something. I didn't realize that she was leaving. Is she gone? And what is it? Like,
Oh,
she's already left?
yeah,
Oh,
for me it
okay.
was a
This is
surprise
my
because I was
first time hearing
also,
this, so
but yeah, so it's been about what, 2 weeks, Marcus? 3 weeks, just about 3 weeks.
okay.
Oh, you're muted again, Marcus.
I keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yes. It's been, I would say more than 2 weeks. I don't remember how long, but yeah, it was it came as a surprise to all of us.
Okay.
But Heather is no longer with us. Um, Connie said I'm pulling double duty, which I guess is kind of true, but we're all as an agency sort of pulling together. And I do emphasize what Connie said is that I think we shouldn't rush a process just to fill a position. I mean, it should be done correctly. There have been a number of people who have expressed strong interest in the position already, and in my opinion, they are strong candidates. If that makes a difference. I feel like Connie talked about an ad. I mean, an ad is an option. I think it's a good option, but even that is sort of up to the commission as far as like how information about the position would be disseminated and for how long we'd be accepting applications or just, you know, expressions of interest. So, um,
Marcus, if
yeah, I
we
mean,
don't
go
run an
ahead.
ad, how do we get the news out that we're taking applications? Or for how long?
Well, I mean, I think that's a pretty logical thing to do is to run
Oh,
an ad.
okay.
I'm just saying that's not required by
Okay.
any statute or rule, right?
Okay.
Right.
Like, in other words, you could recruit. Is
Yeah,
that
you could actually do that as well. Yes.
Yeah.
So here's my take, and I'm gonna come from a outside perspective. I'm always of the mindset that the more transparent and auditable, I guess is the word I'm going to use, our process, the better it is. In Hawaii, we have a lot of, you know, people say I applied, however, they already had made a decision about who was going to get the job and they knew this is what was going to happen. So there are a couple things that I would offer for us to consider as we move forward. One of them is I do believe let's take the 2 weeks. Um, it is going to require the commissioners to do some work, and we'll probably need to hold special meetings like we did for the legislative session. I would rather us have to do that and have a intentional, transparent process rather than us have speculation about something that was done kind of behind the scenes uh, and all. And then with respect to the broad scope of um, the net of applicants. I think that at the end of the day, if we've got exceptionally qualified individuals, we protect individuals in the workplace with respect to hiring and such. So my theory on that piece is let's open it up. You know, I would love to hear, do you say, state or public private, and I wouldn't necessarily say we need to go global for applicants. I am kind of fond though of us having someone probably from Hawaii because those individuals more likely than not are going to have a already vested understanding of the challenges and the uniqueness, which I think are going to be critical for someone working in this position. So those are two things about that I'd like us to keep in consideration as we think about where we cast the net and how wide we cast the net. Is there any kind of feedback on those two thoughts?
I
Ray?
absolutely think, yeah, I absolutely think that it is critical to find someone who is just very familiar with um, Hawaii and just its inner workings and its uniqueness. So I agree on that point. I was curious because I'm pretty sure Heather kind of rose through the ranks and had other positions within HCRC before she was the deputy director. So I was just curious, is there anyone from inside who's already shown interest or like a promote within? Is that something that is being looked at or in the works?
Well, I mean, I would say that I think it's proper for me to answer yes to that question. But whoever a candidate would be, they'd have to go through whatever process is determined. and treated like anyone else, right? But there are individuals I can think of who have some of the qualities that Ray, that you did mention, experience, with our process. One thing I can send everyone is a position description for the position, which includes some, minimum qualifications. So the person needs a law degree from an accredited school of law. That's one thing. As well as, there's particular experience requirements. And so some are preferred and some are required. So I can send you this document because it's a number of pages long. I can't really summarize very
That would
quickly.
be great.
Yeah.
And something also to consider because we are trying to create a process that is consistent among all applicants, to address the issue that some people might get additional weight because they know somebody. We want to avoid that type of thing. We do want to treat all candidates the same. So I think something that we would also think about when we're doing the interview setup is how much weight we will give different areas. For instance, we might want to weigh knowledge of Hawaii and culture, a little bit different than just general experience. I don't know. That's something we can decide on as well. Um, yeah,
So wouldn't
avoiding
that
the appearance
happen?
of, okay, go ahead.
Right. Wouldn't that happen? And I think one thing for us to review is the interview grade matrix, so to speak.
Right,
And I think that's where you allow for consideration for certain cultural knowledge values that they bring to the table and shared experiences. Um, those are some familiar terms or isms, I guess, that will allow us to get to the objective
right.
and be able to sustain any kind of challenge. So I think one thing that would be helpful for commissioners is that particular matrix where the grading process would take place. And then is that process, once all of the applications are going to come in and go through at least some kind of initial screening or something, and then how do they get to the final stage? Or is it that, we may get 60 applications and we have to literally go through and grade 60 applications? Is there a filtering process that is done through state agency or something?
For deputy executive director, it's an exempt position, so you guys are the decision makers. What is recommended most likely is a permitted interaction group of two commissioners working with HCRC staff to narrow down possibly the top three candidates for interviews in front of the commission. Um, so that's something we might want to create today. I mean, we only have three commissioner. So that makes we have a very small commission. So it is hard to make an even smaller, permitted interaction group. But I would suggest creating one because that way we can filter through the candidates, the applications, and then present, the top three to the commission for interview. And that would make things a lot smoother. It would require that, like you said, we're going to have to meet a lot more frequently. I kind of planned it out. We're probably going to have at least 5 meetings just based around, different things we have to do for the interview process and the decision making. So it's going to be a lot of meetings, especially since we will be doing the interviews openly as well. So,
Got that. So with that, let me offer another suggestion here. I think there is tremendous value in the three of us that are on right now to quote unquote be that pre-screening committee versus just two people. There's a knowledge base that I would not like for any of us to miss out on. And I think also we'll need to do a pre to that just to make sure that we have the right tools and methodologies in place for any an effective hiring protocols. So I'll yield to the experienced commissioner on here now to for some feedback on that thought.
I mean, we are a small commission, but I don't really recall having, I mean, my experience with the prior go around was when the board did um the interviews, but there were
Mhm.
also five of us. So it made more sense to have five. I mean, to have a pig. Um, we did. I don't know that. I mean, there's only four of us now, and I don't know. I don't. I think it's kind of a lot if we're already gonna do five meetings. Quite frankly.
Hmm.
We can wait, so applications for vacancies on our commission is a rolling process, so we can try to make a push, but we always
Yeah, I'm just
invite people
concerned
to
if it's gonna be like
apply.
60,
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like I mean,
right.
I'm a volunteer commissioner. I don't have the time to go through 60
Right.
people.
It's gonna be
So,
a lot.
yeah, so that's a little
If
bit concerning.
Right. And if there are a quorum, which is three, it would have to be
Yes.
an open meeting. So the benefit of a pig is it can meet quicker, but still, so
Oh,
what would happen is the pig would be created at one meeting, defining its scope and goals for the pig. And then at the second meeting, the results are presented and no decision making is made. And then at the third meeting, then decision making on the results from the pig, is decided upon. So, I mean, the benefit of the pig is that things can be presented and investigated without calling a quorum to the
mm,
commission, which would require posting of an agenda, and all this other thing. So things can move faster with just two individuals. But there's only, it's so hard with only three at the
yeah.
moment, even just one more, five would make a difference.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the difference between four and five has actually been noticeable when you have one person
right.
going off of, like John has been gone all month.
Yeah. But as
Uh,
Marcus said, we don't have to rush into this, so maybe we can table it for a little bit until next meeting and have more details ready to go and having a pig in our mind, a permitted interaction group, just thinking about it, what the process is actually going to be like. Um, so not to move on, but so when we are setting the interview questions in the matrix and preparing for the interviews, that would be in closed session because it's more deliberative. Interviews would be taking place in open session. I would recommend in-person interviews, but that is hard if we're talking globally,
Mhm.
but in-person interviews would probably be best. Like I said, I would recommend limiting it to three in-person interviews. And then we also should identify what might be a privacy interest before any interviews take place. And this is because, we can't unring a bell. So it's important that
True.
we identify these questions. So anything involving medical, financial, even non-governmental records might hold a significant privacy interest. And also, and this, is kind of interesting as well, an applicant's answer to the question, how would you improve the HCRC might hold significant privacy interest because the applicant's still an applicant. They're not, the selected candidate. And it might involve internal procedure or involve staff that's not generally, available to the public. So that type of thing could involve privacy interests because they're not the selected candidate at the end. Um, and it's hard to balance because it's a constitutional right to privacy. The Hawaii State Constitution has a right to privacy. So applications for this position will actually be confidential under UPA. Um, letters of interest we might want to publish, but the applicants' names that we will be interviewing in person will be on the agenda, so that won't be confidential, but their resumes will be confidential because it's still part of the application process. So it's a lot of balancing to know
Yeah.
what is the privacy interests of the person applying versus, the public's right to know and having these open meetings. Um, but I don't know. What are your thoughts about having in-person interviews? That's also why I'm thinking if we limit it to 3 interviews, maybe we can get done in a day, but that's a lot. That would be a
Yeah.
huge chunk of time, at least 3 hours.
So I remember when we did one of the first things that we were deciding is whether or not state versus national. And the issue about going national is I think we might need to get someone else involved, right? Like so that they could know where to publish it and something like so I think that was kind of a concern that we had when we were thinking about expanding the scope, like how do we get if you decided you wanted to go globally, how do you get that information out
Right,
globally, right? You might need to hire an
right.
agency that does this stuff.
And then not target and
Yeah,
exclude some groups, right?
right.
We
Yeah.
want it
So I think
broadly.
that was and it came down to we don't really want to do that stuff. So we decided to stay within state and did
Right.
like HSBA and I think DLIR. Does DLIR have postings or something. I want to say
Probably.
there's like
Yeah,
a state
internal.
agency that
Yeah.
posts um,
Thanks.
for state positions. I seem to recall, but like that you could control because you know what's available in state, as opposed to if you decide to go nationally, internationally, then we have to hire someone who does this kind of work, right? Because
Right.
none of us do. So I think that was like a preliminary decision
Right.
that we decided just because again if you open it up nationally internationally you have to be prepared for hundreds of applicants um
And the benefit
so
of limiting it to, say HSBA is the minimum qualification is that they have to be a licensed attorney in Hawaii, right? So HSBA isn't really targeted. I mean, it is targeted to licensed attorneys, so that's the benefit, but it's
yeah
not targeted only to like labor or, other areas of law. So, I mean, that's I think the most general we can for the minimum qualifications that we're looking at.
So is
Um,
it safe to, let me ask the question, uh, for the point, for the purpose of decision making today? I'm not a real big fan of deferring too much down the road because then you got to come back and make another decision later. What decisions can we make today? For example, can we say the scope of the hiring field? Can we make a decision today that we want that to be state? Can we make a decision today that we will use Hawaii State Bar Association and the state agency that we fall under as means of announcements? And could we decide today that we will actually use a pig? Those are 3 questions I'm kind of asking others
yeah
your thoughts on.
do I mean so if we decided to do state the number of applicants could be much lower. Could we
Mhm.
decide on whether or not a pig is necessary depending on the number of applicants, or is that
Well,
something you
would
would like to?
if we did state, we probably will not get as many as we just advertised across the US, is my thought. And we may not need a pig.
Yeah,
Okay, I see
that's
some
why. Yeah,
heads.
that's why. If you only had like 10 applicants,
Right,
the full commission, that's
right.
manageable.
So maybe is there any objection to us agreeing on um that we would limit the hiring to state and that we would use those two entities for advertising?
There's one thing I want to interject about.
Go ahead.
I know that the HSBA advertising is something we've done in the past. I think maybe just for the last time, which was successful. It did yield applicants. What you're talking about with the Department of Labor, um, I guess, forum to post this. I'm not sure what that is exactly. I mean,
Okay.
I
Yeah,
know.
I just seem to recall something, but I could be
So
wrong too.
I
Well,
guess the question I have is that this is a state agency in the
right,
Department of Labor. It would kind of make sense that if an outside person went to the state agency to look for an opening, they would go to the agency that you work at or that you're part of. I'm being
right.
kind of dumbed down now, and that's kind of my rationalization for being inclusive, unless there's a significant reason that we would not. I guess I'm looking for you guys to tell me some good reasons why we would not use the Department of Labor platform.
I guess what I want to clarify is I don't think that there is a platform of the
Mm.
type that you're talking about. I mean,
Oh, there
really,
there is no like I'm DOE, right? So if
right,
there's a job, DOE, you go on the DOE website and bam, there's job announcements. So what you're
right,
saying is if you go on the Department of Labor website, there there's not a place where jobs are listed.
correct. What
Okay.
the jobs, all the jobs that we have in the past advertised, we didn't not even advertise for it. They're posted through Department of Human Resources Development. And
Okay,
so
so that state entity, I guess what I'm saying is that whatever state entity where jobs would be posted,
right,
to me, that job would be posted there in addition to using the bar association. Does
got
that
it.
make
And
sense? Okay.
Mhm.
right. But the thing I need to check is that I know that the Department of Human Resources Development or DHERD, they post jobs that are civil service positions. I
Hmm.
don't know if they post jobs that are like this one, which are excluded and exempt positions. I
Mm.
can check that. I can easily check that. And if they don't normally post those, I can inquire as to okay, what DHERD would suggest as far as putting some notice out there to the public. Um,
Okay.
I don't. I think there's good reasons why those positions normally do not appear on the DHERD website, but I can certainly clarify that for you folks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. So, I guess, council, do we need to have a motion, to determine that? Um, and it would, in my mind, it would be a motion for statewide and then a separate one, providing that whatever state platform would be the proper hiring platform, we would also use, the Bar Association. So I think two motions. Okay.
And
All
statewide
right.
listing and then platform. Okay.
Yes. All right. So commissioners, two motions are in order. One motion, and you can do them both in the same if there's agreement, for us to hire statewide. And secondly, to use the Bar Association and whatever state platform aligns with our agency.
So move for both motions.
Second.
Okay. All right. So the maker and the seconder is consent and it's unanimous. We have approval for us to hire statewide, and we will use the Bar Association and the appropriate state platform for job announcements.
And can we
Okay.
also make a vote on how long to run the ad? if that's something.
Yes, I meant to
Oh,
include that. And
okay.
can we also agree on 2 weeks? Is there consensus for 2 weeks? Is there any objection to 2 weeks? Okay, I don't
No
see her here.
objection.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that means that we have approval for 2 weeks advertisement as well. Okay, and then we will work on the next steps, which includes methods, the matrix for grading, and in between now and then, well, given that, I guess we're not in a crisis right now. So by the time we get into our April, we will know where we stand on, and I don't think a pig is going to be needed. So we will see where we are when we meet again in April. Okay. All right. Anything else for the hiring of the deputy?
No, just that, likely in May, if people can check their calendars, we might have to
Mhm.
be meeting a little bit more frequently, depending, on the results of the job posting. So just keep that in mind, I guess, for May.
Got it. Got it. Okay. All right.
Can I
Go ahead.
ask a question? Sorry.
Sure.
Any word on a fifth commissioner?
Oh my goodness, no. But I have been, I invite all these people to apply and they tell me they are, then they don't. And I don't know. I think it's a great job. You guys all do a great job and it's interesting. We're getting so many cases, but yeah, if you likewise, you guys can share the words, invite people to apply as commissioners. We definitely need people.
Okay, so that's what we're waiting on. We're not waiting on the governor's office. We're waiting on applicants.
It's both. We can't force the governor to nominate people, but we can
Mhm.
get people to apply and then encourage the governor to appoint. That's the most we can do. We can ask people to apply, call up their, office, which we have done, and say, "Hey, can you look at this specific applicant?" And then they move it a little bit faster, but that's the most we can do. It's up to the governor ultimately.
Got it. Do we know if there are applicants pending?
The last time we
Decision.
checked, there were at least two or three.
Okay.
But we're not quite sure why they haven't moved forward. And it could be for various reasons. Last year we went through a nomination getting withdrawn, so I mean there's a lot of reasons why people get their nominations withdrawn or not submitted. So that's what we have to deal with.
So
Okay.
just a quick question. So I haven't seen my confirmation come up at all. Have you seen it get this late into the legislative session before?
You know what? I can give a call to the boards and commissions office to check on it. And okay, so I'll do that after the meeting and then get back to you on
Thank
that.
you.
And not sure, counsel, you can correct me real quick if I'm out of order here. Uh, you guys are tracking that my confirmation hearing is Friday at 10.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you so much. And we will be submitting testimony in support.
That is greatly
We are very
greatly
appreciative.
appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. I'm comforted.
Good luck, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, I believe that we are down to 8 on the agenda. And item 8 is just simply we did receive a letter from an individual in the mainland. Um, and, there's no real action on it. It appears as though it was a letter that may have been sent as well to a lot of other people.
Hmm.
I do want to publicly acknowledge a receipt of a letter speaking about safety, human rights of transgender individuals um, that were kind of fleeing states. So I'm not going to say the person's name. I don't think that's appropriate. However, I do want to acknowledge that we did receive a letter from someone outside of the state of Hawaii who has concerns that transgender individuals are having to flee and that there are notable concerns about their safety and security in the U.S. and have that concern has been for a period of time. Okay.
Mm.
All right. With that, we will move to item 9, which would be planning our next one. I will send uh, over the proposal for our April meeting, which we should be back on track with our regular once a month. I'm going to try to make sure that it's once a month, especially since we're looking at May, where we will probably be doing a couple of extras for hiring purposes. So standard 11:30, and I think it's the third Tuesday, but we'll get there. Okay. We'll also kind of play this by ear when John is back in country and well. Okay. With that, is there anything else for the commission today? And I don't see any public individuals on, so all is well. Please, 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 throughout the state. I think yesterday's weather was quite a bit of a surprise for us.
Yeah.
So it is important that we are very, very attentive. You don't have to drive a long ways. And I saw an evacuation of Nanakuli school. So I'm just saying that don't take for granted because the sun is out today that everything is well. Please be careful out there. Again, this safety and security is got a lot of attachment to the protection of human life and human rights. Anything else before I call for adjournment? Okay, if not, I look forward to seeing or hearing from you guys Friday. Okay.
We'll be there.
All righty. Thank you all so very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.